know they're just not getting that deep?
Okay, they're saying up here that Jeff is not getting it. Tell me what shots to get. I don't usually do get one. There's nobody at two yet.
Tonight's game time temperature 30 degrees, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts' new cold brew cup. Rich, smooth, full-body taste makes it a coffee like no other, just like your engineers. RPI runs on Dunkin'. Harvard penalty to number 5, Clay Anderson. He receives 2 minutes sport, goal. Time of penalty, 1 minute 35 seconds. Harvard's number 5, Anderson, for boarding at 1:35. It's an E. Stewart Jones Hacker Murphy power play for the Engineers.
Trying my best.
RPI and E. Stewart Jones power play goal, scored by number 16, Jacob Hayhurst. He was assisted by number 19, Mike Prekovesis. Time of the E. Stewart Jones power play goal, 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Goal scored by 16, Hayhurst, his 6th of the season, from 19, Prekovesis at 2:38.
Carried around to the half wall. Now Orval to center in the air. Too hot to handle for Polino. It'll be gathered again, this time by Sherman. 6'7", 220-pound Wiley Sherman from Greenwich, Connecticut. His brother played lacrosse at Brown, graduated in 2014. Connection to center ice. It'll be carried on further and shot in by Lloyd. It'll wrap around to the near half wall. They bottle things up there right at the hash marks in the RPI zone. 6 minutes in to the first period. RPI with a 1-0 lead. That clearing effort kept in at the near point by Marino. Towards the far point, Patrick Paulino there, scooped out by Riley, and now here comes TJ Samick, stick handling to center. He'll fire it in on goal. Stick saved by Madsen as it's played to the near side. Coming in hard was Rodriguez into a check. Now a shot by DeVito, pad save made. Prapavesis reading the play on the far side, jumps into the attack. He'll carry along the far wall. Spinning now Prapavesis, backhands it in further. DeVito helps it along for Rodriguez. He'll shield the puck behind the goal. Back to DeVito. This is good cycle work here by this fourth line. Rodriguez once more looking to center, jam at the side of the cage for DeVito. Rodriguez again, one time or more, fan on the shot. He'll get another crack at it, it's poked away. Rodriguez now, he'll turn and fire, that hit a shin pad. Moore once more, firing towards goal, looking for the tip, and that one was held onto by Madsen, but Jimmy DeVito right in front of the cage, and now we get some more pushing and shoving, and it's the 6'7" Sherman making DeVito and Rodriguez look much smaller. They're not actually that small. Rodriguez listed here at 6'2", or 6 foot, excuse me, but towering over them. Sherman had a little more pushing and shoving going off the whistle.
Yeah, it looks like the Harvard Crimson's trying to be a little scrappy with the Engineers, which really shouldn't be their game plan since they're the more finesse team. You expect that more from the Engineers.
Face off here in the Harvard zone. Shot by Reno goes just wide. It'll be picked up by Nanny. He turns and shoots and nearly found a spot under the blocker of Madsen, but he made the save. Now Nanny's tripped up and goes down. And we play on. Here's Kerfoot. Stick handling, nearly ran into his own man, Anderson. Alexander Kerfoot into the attacking zone, trying to backhand it in the middle. It was broken up by the centerman Whiffen. Brady Whiffen trying to dig it out of there. It'll be played by Donato, second in the country, averaging over 5 shots a game. 5.07 on the season is Ryan Donato. Has 9 goals and 8 assists for 17 points. Back out to center it goes. Turning with it, Anderson, fed across into the skates of Donato, who gathers there. Zeder Gossage on the far center, Zerder Gossage rather. Shot came, it was deflected up on a play. We'll get a stopage here. Shots are 7-2 RPI early. 12:18 to go. 1-0 RPI leading Harvard.
Yeah, the Engineers really outworking the Crimson on the boards, winning the 50-50 puck battles that determine a lot of possession.
Face off here to the right of Perry, one back by Harvard. Tyrannese picks up the loose puck below the goal line, shoots it around to the near side. Mearsmore has to get on his horse to try and find it, can't. As it's a pass out in front from Malone, he just couldn't handle it. Now Riley Bourbonnais trying to muscle his way out to center, got as far as the red line, turned right back around. Here comes Moy, a shot in the shoulder, saved by Perry. Tyler Moy jumps back on it in the corner, looking to center. It's broken up by Moore. The Engineers want to skate 3-on-2 if they hurry. Melanson carries in far side on his backhand, trying to center, hops over a couple sticks. It's swatted right back to the corner. Melanson trying to touch it back to the point for Riley. That's intercepted, and now carried to center ice by Harvard. They dump it in. That was Luke Esposito, the senior out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Flipped high in the air to center. Go ahead.
Another nice job there by Melanson, getting an odd man rush going on transition there for the Engineers. Nothing came of it, but still good thinking.
Here comes Marino into the attacking zone. Pried off his stick, but it goes into the corner. Lloyd, far side, played there by Krusko, and now turned over. Back come the Engineers. Orval has some speed. The sophomore from Halmstad, Sweden, was taken off the puck, however, by Marino. Sherman spins near side. It'll be worked out by Krusko. Krusko to the RPI line and in deep. Seb Lloyd, the first one to it for Harvard in the corner, looking to play on further. Pinched off the play, nearly interference there on Polino. But we play on. And now carried on further by Orval to Hayhurst, the goal scorer. Hayhurst into the zone, stops at the half wall. Fed to the slot, walking in Reno, down low, connection, he couldn't quite find Orval. It skipped off his skates and stick. Back to the far point, some space now for Reno. Now Wilson. Fed off of the hand of Krusko, and it's tipped back out to center. Engineers will regather there. As good as we've seen the Engineers in a long time as it's shot in from center by Wilson, gloved down by Madsen, who hands it off for Dombrowski. Dombrowski, pressured by Rodriguez, forces the turnover. Centering pass, and he tried to find DeVito. He was tied up and couldn't find the puck. Back to center we go. Floodstrand, behind the back pass, dumped in by Pelton Bice. It'll be left behind the goal by Perry. Saucer pass near side for Wood, couldn't quite corral it. He'll find it in the circle and play it on for Rodriguez. Rodriguez crosses the red line and moves it in. Shot coming, blocked there on the try by DeVito. In the near corner, Rodriguez looking to cycle, finds Jake Wood, centering pass all the way through to Prapavasas. On his backhand, he can't corral, and it's back out to center. Shot near side, Rodriguez, 3 Engineers touch up, and they fire it back in. They'll get a line change there.
Great shift there from Alex Rodriguez. Never stopped on his forecheck, caused turnovers right in front of the goalie.
Now Donato carrying in near side on a backhand, fires it wide. Karam's all the way around to the far point where it's kept in by Olsen. No, it's not. Back out to center. Thought Olsen had it. Hopped off his stick and out to the neutral ice. Now Liljegren carries in on the attack. Shielding goes down. He was on his backhand leaning on the defender. May have just lost an edge. Moore down low, rings it back around. Liljegren trying to find it, poked loose by Olsen. And now Kerfoot to center. Too far for the intended target. That was Zerder Gossage, and the Engineers regather in their own zone. Pass ahead for Whiffen. Shot in by Liljegren. Turned right back around by the Crimson. Donato on the move. Ryan Donato into the zone. Pulls it back, and he lost the stick handle there. Shot in towards goal by Kerfoot. He'll jump back on it again in the near circle. Kerfoot turning, looking for a shooting lane. All the way back to the point. Fires one on goal. Tipped wide by Zerder Gossage. Now Donato trying to jam it in. Loose in the slot. Comes free to Nanny, and he'll skate it to center. Nanny had the lone goal against Clarkson last Saturday. He'll shoot it in deep. A 6-1 defeat there up in Lake Placid. Now stick handling through center, Wiley Sherman. He'll shoot it in. Around to the near side. Connection to center ice. Off the stick of Melanson, gathered back by Sherman. Sherman plays catch with Marino in their own zone. Now Marino far side. Good connection to Esposito. He's knocked down. Picked up Tiernese, who just shoots it off the far wall. Right to Marino. Trying to turn it back around. It'll be shot in on goal. Perry will cover. 8:05 to go in the first period. 1-0 RPI leads number 2 Harvard. They're out shooting the Crimson 8-4, and we get our stoppage here to clear off some ice. That'll give Joe a little bit of time to talk about what he's seen.
Yeah, the Engineers are really coming out, and they're firing on all cylinders. And that's what Coach Apper wanted to see. He wanted to see it from his fourth line, especially. He talked about in the interview at the beginning of the game. And Alex Rodriguez is had an absolute killer shift on his last shift. He's just kept going around behind the net on the forecheck, and eventually Madsen tried scooting it out to one of his defensemen after a shot, and Rodriguez was right there to force a turnover and get a shot on goal at pretty much right in front of Madsen. Madsen able to block it, but you gotta like what you're seeing from Rodriguez. Also, Drew Melanson is doing a really nice job in transition. He's waiting on the wings for that outlet pass, and when it comes, he's sprinting down the right wing wall and getting right into the offensive zone with possession of the puck. And usually he'll either lean towards the net and take a shot or look for the pass behind him.
Ready for the draw out of the stoppage to clear some of the ice away from the walls. It's a new rule put in place this year to try and create some, more room for the puck to move, or cleaner ice surface. So they do that middle of every period. There's a puck move towards the slot, kind of carry him around. It comes free to Tiernese. He'll skate it to center. Tiernese into the attacking zone, shoots it in deep. Melanson had to wait for him, and now we get a whistle into the late offside. We'll stop play once again.
Yeah, Melanson trying to straddle the line there a little bit, went over a little bit too quick, but good eye by the official.
So we get a face-off coming up just outside the Harvard zone. The scoring on the RPI goal, Jacob Hayhurst, 6th of the year. Lone assist going to Mike Prapavasas on the power play. Let you know if anything changes there.
Looks like they're going to redo the face-off here.
Just the one power play for either team. That's the way the Engineers want to keep it. Don't want to get in the box. Talked about it at the top of the broadcast against this Harvard team. So good on the power play. Here comes Malone right off the draw. Fed one on goal. It was partially blocked, so not much preparing to have to do with that one, but stick it aside into the corner. Moy in the circle, knocked away from him, and now Polino will carry to center ice. Patrick Polino fed on further, kicked along by Orval to the man trailing Hayhurst. Shot was blocked in front and skated back the other way. Here comes Moy on the move. Into the middle for Esposito. Fed away and up ahead, and now here comes Hayhurst again. 2-on-2 as they hit the line. Offside again as Orval lifted the back foot, forcing himself offside, and now we get a little shove from Adam Fox, the freshman, the highly touted freshman. Mentioned he leads the country in assists per game, 1.31, 17 on the year for him, and you mentioned he had some international experience as well.
Yeah, come fresh off a gold medal with Team USA at the World Junior Championships. Of course, you have to be 19 years of age to play in those.
Solid work from the, I believe, Edmonton Oilers draft choice, or excuse me, the Calgary Flames draft pick Fox. Now it was a puck fed into the middle all the way through. Perry gets run into there, and an extra little shove for Lloyd, and we play on. They're letting him play here seemingly so far. Just the one penalty. We've had a good deal of extracurriculars already. As now Samek took a spill on his way back into the zone. Harvard on the move, working it out in front. Walking in Marino, penalty coming up here. And I believe we're going to get a penalty on Lloyd for roughing, and now we get more shoving as Samek runs into the back of one of the Crimson, and now even more. I believe the penalty is going to go on one of the Crimson. Yeah. I think it's on Lloyd, and RPI hoping maybe should try not to take a second penalty here and put themselves at a disadvantage.
Yeah, TJ Samek actually got a high stick from Jake Horton coming in on the play, and there were just slashes all over down there in the zone, and eventually the ref saw one, I guess. So it's only bad if you get caught, right?
I believe they're just going to get Lloyd here for the initial penalty. Maybe not. Well, you're right. They're going to get, maybe not Horton. He skated towards the box for a second. Now they're going to engineer as well.
They're going to send Rodriguez to
too.
The box. I guess just roughing after the play, kind of pushing around behind the net. It looked like everybody. If anybody, it should have been Jimmy DeVito. Jimmy DeVito almost threw the helmet off of one of the Harvard players. I believe it was Ryan Donato he was going at it with. So really chippy game so
in the
far.
Piscicano School of Law, it would have been, you're saying DeVito?
Yeah, well, DeVito kind of ripped the helmet off of Ryan.
Some of the stuff gets
Ryan
overlooked,
Donato.
I believe. You can't call everything or else everyone would be in the box sometimes,
that is
right?
True. That
Looks
is
like
true.
one each way.
Yeah, so 4-on-4 here for the next 2 minutes. And again, coach talking about his fourth line. He wanted them to set the tone for the game. Well, standing up for your goalie is a good way to set the tone for the game. So a little extra ice here. Coach is going to look to get his faster skaters out there with Jared Wilson and Parker Reno on the defensive pairing. And now he's trying to get out his forwards. Looks like it's going to be Tiranisa and Bourbonai. Two very, very quick skaters, both. Bourbonai a senior and Tiranisa sophomore. Both under 6 foot, but quick skaters.
Draw here to the left of Chase Perry. Shots are 8-6 Engineers with 6:48 to go in the first period. 1-0 is the RPI lead. 6th goal of the season and of the career of the freshman Jacob Hayhurst. Here is Kerfoot. A +12 on the year. Leads the team with 24 points. And now we get a penalty. And this is not what the Engineers wanted. Interference is the call. And Harvard will go on the power play. Plenty of ice as well. A minute 50 of this power play will be 4-on-3. And this is a tough spot in this first period for RPI. First real pressure they're going to have to deal with. So far, even strength. The Engineers have matched Harvard in this game. We'll see how they do fare shorthanded.
Yeah, 6:38 left in the period. Not really. It appeared like the refs were going to let them play for most of the game, but now it looks like they're calling everything. So a lot of open ice here for Adam Fox to work with.
Power play for the Crimson. Kerfoot near circle, working it down low. Donato, all kinds of space. Good stick by Reno, but he couldn't clear. He broke up the play, but couldn't get it out of the zone. Now here's Moy centering all the way through. Shot and a save by Perry. That caught his blocker, and it'll go all the way out of the zone. Engineers catch a break there. Parker Reno read the play very well, laid a stick on the ice, broke up the pass, had it for a split second, but couldn't clear it out. Now 4-on-3, back into the zone come the Crimson. 32.8% on the year. The next closest power play in the country, 25.4 from Nebraska Omaha. Now a shot, saved by Perry, rebound picked up. We got a puck played with a high stick. And the face-off will leave the zone. There's another break for the Engineers.
It looked like they were going to get a clear, though, which would have ticked off about 20 seconds
True.
From the power play, but got to take what you're given. And they win the face-off.
Face-off back to center and all the way down, so it just does the job. As it'll be corralled once again by the Crimson, who break to center. The captain, Alexander Kerfoot, into the attacking zone, all the way to the circle, all the way around the net. He goes to the near side corner, back to the point, into the skates of Fox. Bouncing puck fed to the far side for Donato. They trade places. Fox, center blue line. Far circle Moy. Now down low, hit a skate, and now picked up again by Moy along the far wall. 34 seconds left of this 4-on-3 situation. Now a centering pass all the way through the top of the crease. It'll be picked up on the near side. Walking in Moy, a wrister. That one's blocked away. Kerfoot once more out of the near corner. Back to the point for Donato. Holding there. Walking into the dot, now back up top. Fox back to Donato, walking in. Wrister missed by about a foot. It'll carry him around to the far side. Kept in at the point there. 10 seconds to go on the 4-on-3 before a couple players are released. Now back to the point. Waiting. Far circle. One-timer saved by Perry on the shoulder, and he holds on. 2 players out of the box, Lloyd and Rodriguez. So the remainder of this power play will be 5-on-4. And that 3-man penalty kill group, doesn't matter if there's 4 or 5 on the other side. When you have 3 men on the penalty kill, it's always a tough spot to be in. The Engineers survived that one.
Yeah, Chase Perry doing a really nice job on that last power play.
Face off here in the RPI zone. Esposito to the far side. Here's Moy taking a shot. No, turning and passing in front. Another shot fired and hit a skate. And now out of the box comes Wilson. Melanson trying to break and move into the zone to beat out the icing. Madsen behind his own goal trying to elude Melanson. There was Madsen. And now Krusko to center. Here comes Esposito into the attacking zone near side. Fed to the middle. Shot coming. That one's blocked. And the rebound played off the side of the cage. It was a sliding effort in front of the goal to break up the shooting attempt there. Now fed to the far side, Melanson. With it, carries to center. Far side, past Bourbonnais and in deep. Anderson pokes it away from Riley Bourbonnais. Behind the net, Marino. And now Anderson once more. Clay Anderson to center. Scored a goal last year in the playoffs against RPI, one of his 4 college goals in 104 games. As RPI will slow things down from behind their own goal. It's Tierney's far side. 1-0 Engineers. RPI 1 for 1 on the power play. Harvard 0 for 1 so far. As the Engineers were able to kill it off moments ago. 3:33 to go in the first. Floodstrand to center. He takes a big hit there from Liljegren as the puck is shot in deep. Wilson, the first one to it for RPI, around to the far side. Poking at it, no. Broken up there, and RPI can't clear. Far side, moving in. Pelton Bice into the far corner. Taking a hit was Colton Kerfoot, playing in his first collegiate game, the younger brother of Alexander. Freshman out of West Vancouver as well, of course. And now here is Reno. Up the wall for Liljegren. Fed on further, Nanny shoots it deep. And now back to pick it up, Jacob Olsen.
2:55 left here in the first period, 1-0 RPI still.
Here come the Crimson. Drop pass at his own blue line by the elder Kerfoot Alexander. Now Fox to center. Stick handling into the attacking zone, stops at the far point, makes a move up the wall. Poked away from him by Riley. A couple of freshman defensemen going at it over there in the corner. Now fed to center. Lots of room, a 2-on-1 chance. Here comes Paulino. Across for Orval. Shooting a save, Madsen. The rebound. Swept over the top of the net. And we play on. Zerner Gossage back the other way. Net came off its mooring for a moment, but hopped right back on. That allowed Harvard to skate back the other direction. Loose puck. Skips right across the face of goal. It'll be carried out there by Orval. Good speed shown by this third line for RPI. Orval, Paulino, and Hayhurst. It turned into nearly a 3-on-1. Orval elected to take the shot with Hayhurst trailing. Now we got a penalty coming up here on RPI. Walking in Donato. Off to the bench goes Madsen, and we get a touch of the puck. And another power play here for Harvard. RPI fans not liking it here. It's going to be another boarding call. This one will go against the Engineers. They're going to get the freshman Patrick Paulino, who's not happy about it.
Yeah, I didn't actually see where they called the penalty on.
It's right in front of the Harvard bench area.
But that's not good news for the Engineers that as they're going to have to kill this penalty off to finish out the period. 1:55 remaining. However, if they do kill it off, it's a good momentum shift. But there have been several opportunities with the left side of the net wide open for the Crimson. They've just been unable to convert.
5-on-4 power play here. Jared Wilson battling behind the net with a pair of Crimson players. Now a loose puck in front. Save on the face mask. Rebound, another try. And that one stopped as well. And we get a cover as the puck is held by Chase Perry. Nathan Krusko had the second effort at the side of the net. He had a hat trick last Friday against Quinnipiac. in a 5-2 Harvard win. The 3 of his 5 goals he scored in his freshman campaign. The first-year skater out of Alpharetta, Georgia. As the Engineers clear it right off the draw, shoot it all the way down. RPI hoping, Joe, that this power play carries over to the second. That means they did a pretty good job.
Yes. Yeah,
with the 5 seconds difference.
1:28 left here in the period as Harvard moves up through the ice.
Krusko to the line, far side. Walking in, a wrister that's blocked. Whiffen trying to find it, he can't. Back to the point. Marino fakes a shot near side at the wall. It's Esposito. Esposito walking in. Fed back up top for Marino. Far side Anderson into the slot for Malone. Turning with it, Sean Malone. Given time and space, and he fires, and a glove save is made through traffic by Perry.
You have to like what Mears Moore is doing down low on the defensive side of this power play, keeping everybody out of the crease and out of the way of Chase Perry so that he can see the puck. He saw that puck going all the way from the point right into his glove. That's what you want to see from your defenseman. Mears Moore not being a huge guy at 5'11", 190, but keeping that crease clear for his goalie.
Face off, we'll do it again. 1:05 to go in the period. Harvard with a 13-9 edge in shots now. They've kind of carried play ever since the early stages of this one, but it's been that penalty bug that RPI's wanted to stay out of the box, and later stages of this period, Joe, they haven't been able to, so Harvard's gotten a couple power plays here.
Yeah, that 4-on-3 power play really is what set the tones for Harvard, and that's kind of how they've carried play ever since.
Defensive zone face-off win, shot all the way down the ice, in on goal, stopped there by Madsen. He'll skate behind the net and leave it there. Adam Fox to start things out. 2 goals, 17 assists for 19 points in just 13 games. Of course, the Ivy League teams, a slower start, a later start, I should say, to their seasons. The Crimson have only played in 14 so far. This is the 24th game for RPI. Now Moy, stick handling, bottom of the far circle, centering pass right on in front. It's skipped wide on the try by Kerfoot. 30 seconds to go in the period. Puck at the near point for Fox. Working it up the wall. Good stick along the ice by Moore, and he's able to clear it down. Now, quickly out of his net was Madsen, but slowing it down is Moy at center ice. Fox into the attacking zone. Drops it back to the point. Skipped through the legs of Tyrannese as he tries to battle back there with Kerfoot. Has to be careful with that stick. Now a giveaway in the high slot area. Swatted to center by the Engineers. Whiffen trying to jump on it. Now he's got a breakaway. Whiffen scores! Short-handed goal by Brady Whiffen with 0.6 seconds to go in the first period. It's 2-0 RPI.
0.6 seconds left in the first period. Short-handed goal. Mears Moore again. Unbelievable job on the power play, clearing the zone with 5 seconds left. Whiffen saw the puck at center ice, skated right by the defenseman with that big body of his, went right on net, saw the opening, went low on the tall goalie, and got it at the left corner.
And that'll do it for the period.
The Houston Fieldhouse has erupted after that last play there by Brady Whiffen to get the shorthanded goal for the Engineers. Only 5 seconds left on this Harvard power play, and that is a great start to this second semester for the Engineers in that first period. You got to keep the intensity up, though. You got to keep the intensity up if you're the Engineers. You can't just be happy with one period, 20-minute period of ice hockey. You got to play a full 60 minutes, especially against this Harvard team. They're one of the highest ranked teams in the country, and they're going to want to stay that way.
Engineers couldn't have asked for a better start to the game. They got the power they were looking for. But then things turned the other way a bit. Harvard pushed back. They earned themselves a couple of power plays. But they were unsuccessful, at least on the first one. Obviously, to be continued. 5 seconds to remain on the second. Of goals from essentially first-year players. Brady Whiffen didn't play all of last year. He picks up his, I believe, 3rd goal of the season. 6th goal for freshman Jacob. A well-earned play. Do it all the way through the play and earned himself a solid short-handed goal right at the end of the period. So, Joe, thoughts before we go to break here in our first intermission?
Just looking at the power play, I like that Coach Appert has confidence in all of his guys. He's not just using 4 or so forwards on the penalty kill. I mean, excuse me, not the power play, the penalty kill. He had Whiffen out there, he had Tyrannese, Bourbonnais. I even saw Jesper Orval out there a little bit. You got to like what you're seeing from Coach Appert.
We'll look at some scores and some analysis in our first intermission coming up in a couple minutes. Your score after 1 period of play from the Houston Fieldhouse. It's the Engineers 2 and the second-ranked Harvard Crimson nothing. You're listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Clash between the second-ranked Harvard Crimson and the Engineers of RPI. Per Lascaris and Joe Pisacano here, 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. It's 2-0 RPI here, 3-0 RPI in Cambridge. The Engineers women are taking on the very same Crimson. They're 3-0 after 2. That was a 6 o'clock start out in Boston. So good night so far. Obviously still 40 minutes to go here, 20 over there. But thoughts on this one? It seemed like it was almost a tale of two halves of that period, although RPI snuck one in right at the end, Joe, to make it 2-0.
Yeah, you have to like what you're seeing from the Engineers at 5-on-5 play, because that's the majority of the game. Most of the game is played at 5-on-5 even strength.
At least you hope.
Yes, at least you hope. It looked like they were going to let a lot of the game be played like that, even though it was really chippy. You had DeVito, of course, trying to go at it with Wiley Sherman, the towering 6'7", 220-pound defenseman. But then all of a sudden they just started calling penalties left and right on both sides, and we had a little bit of 4-on-4 that almost went immediately to 4-on-3. And the Engineers still managed to kill off that power play by the Harvard. They've almost killed off both power plays by the Harvard Crimson, who have, of course, mentioned earlier by Perry Lascaris that they are the #1 power play in the country in the NCAA hockey by over 7% at 32%. The next closest being at 28% by Nebraska. But the Engineers, they did a nice job on their penalty kills. There were several times where it looked like the net was wide open on the left side, but Chase Perry, not the announcer, the goaltender.
I'm glad someone else made that mistake and not me, Joe.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Chase Perry, the goalie, of course, the draft pick, the Detroit Red Wings draft pick, was able to slide over at the last second and make a couple nice saves, which is good for his confidence, you have to think, after having several tough weeks of loss after loss after loss, 7 in a row for the Engineers. But this isn't the first time that the Engineers have been leading against a top-ranked team. Of course, at the beginning of the season, we saw them play Yale when Yale was ranked 16th in the country, and they led the whole game. They were up about 2-0 with 3 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden they just fell apart. So you got to be able to play 60 minutes of hockey, and I have a feeling that's what Coach Appert is talking about in the locker room as we speak right now. I have a feeling he's going to be telling his guys, I want you playing 60 minutes of hockey, no let-ups, no taking shifts off. You got to be going every single moment that you're on the ice. Take your breaks, take your water when you're sitting on the bench, but when you're on the ice, you got to be aware, you got to be ready to go. And you got to like what you're seeing from the fourth line. They've won a ton of puck battles on the ice, on the boards, and in the middle of the ice. They've set several major checks, and they've really just kind of set the tone to do. They've shown that they're not afraid of this #2 ranked Harvard team. Of course, Jimmy DeVito has been going at it all game with Wiley Sherman as well as Ryan Donato. He almost ripped Donato's helmet off at one point during the game after Donato was whacking at Chase Perry. So you have to like what you're seeing from that bottom line, and also that the third line has been doing a great job in transition. Jesper Orval has waited on the wings for the outlet pass, and then when he's gotten it, he's flown down the left wing with Polino usually trailing right behind him, and then Hayhurst kind of waiting around for the scraps that pop out after the initial shot. So great job by the bottom six here for the Engineers. And then, of course, a beautiful goal there by Brady Whiffen to close out the period. Walking around Tyler Moy, I believe it was, to go straight down the center of the ice. It looked like he didn't even try to go around him. He just blasted right past him and almost knocked him over and went bottom left corner before Madsen could get low on his butterfly.
Absolutely. As we take a look at some of the scores from around ECAC hockey, a lot of them between the first and second periods. Brown and St. Lawrence are scoreless in Providence after one. Cornell leads Princeton 3-1 after one in New Jersey. Quinnipiac won Colgate nothing after one period. Union and Dartmouth are tied 1-1 late in the first, and no score between Clarkson and Yale in New Haven. So a lot of tight ones so far in the league. A couple of, well, this one really the one that most people will be surprised to see, I guess, but maybe not. I was thinking about this, a lot of time to think about things throughout the season, but every game you go into, Joe, or every race for you, you're expecting to, maybe not expecting to win, but you're expecting to win when you're playing, I guess, in a team sport. I think when you're running is maybe a little bit different. It's hard to maybe make that.
Every race is different.
Every race is different,
definitely
right?
Different,
right.
Especially you going in with a different game plan. Like for tomorrow, I'm going to be running at Dartmouth University, and Coach is not too worried about how I do in place-wise. He's just worried to see my fitness level, see if I've done the work over the break, as is with everybody, not just me, everybody on the team. On the distance team, of course, we also have a lot of sprinters and jumpers, but Coach Lynch specifically is looking to see that I'm in good shape. I'm in good shape fitness-wise, so that at the end of the season, when it's time to race at the big Liberty League races, I'm in good shape and I'm tapered and I'm ready to go. But yeah, you go into a race and sometimes you're not always looking to win, but you gotta do what your coach tells you to do.
Absolutely, and And so as we'll take our break and head back to come back for our second period here, Joe, we'll get back to that in just a moment. We will step aside here and be back with the second period momentarily. Your score after one period is RPI 2 and Harvard nothing. You're listening to RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, Perilous Scares, Joe Piscicano here, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. 2-0 RPI over number 2 Harvard. Before we get started with the second period, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. A reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. You can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so long as WRPI is broadcasting. We'll provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that's WRPI.org.
Yeah, so Harvard University, you gotta expect the Crimson to come out flying this next period, being down 2-0, especially after the way they ended that period. They're not going to be happy. They came out here expecting to win this game against an almost winless RPI team. They only have 3 wins on the season, but the Engineers are not going to make it easy for them. And Harvard's just going to have to, if they want to win this game, they're going to have to figure out a way to come back. But the Engineers hopefully will be able to hold off the storm.
Looking at these stats quickly, shots were 13-11 Harvard in that first period, thanks in part to the 2 power plays. They had 6 shots, so 6 power play shots, just 7 even strength shots against Chase Perry for Harvard. RPI 11 shots, just 1 of those came on the power play. And for the Engineers, that shot went in. They're 1 for 1 on the man advantage. They have 2 special teams goals on the night, of course, with Hayhurst being on the power play and Brady Whiffen scoring shorthanded with 0.6 seconds to go in that first period. We are underway in the second, and about to come out of the box is Patrick Polino, and the Engineers kill it off. They are 2 for 2 on the kill. Up the wall, can't get it out. Ball below the goal line, Kerfoot popping in front. Who wants it? Bourbonnais can't sneak out of there with it. Bouncing puck, someone settled it down. They finally do. It's fed all the way down the ice, and it will not be icing. Melanson beats it out. It'll be swatted around to the far corner by Madsen. Puck in the air towards the blue line and now carried out to center. Donato. Zerter Gossage, far side, Kerfoot into the skates of Donato. It'll be cleared behind. Swatted to the far side there by Donato. Taking a hit was Kerfoot by Wilson. Watches him there. Zerder Gossage has that taken away by Tyranese. His cross-ice feed hit a skate. Have to wave that off, and they do. The icing that was not called. Olsen in the corner. Up the boards, kept in Prapavesis. Over skating Bourbonnais. And now Olsen will skate it to center where it's taken back over by the Engineers. Good back check there by Bourbonnais to break it up. Fed across, connecting to Whiffen. A shot was blocked. It'll go right in on goal, in fact. And Manson had to be aware there as that shot was deflected off the defenseman's stick and eventually gathered in the glove hand of Madsen.
That's the second time this game Drew Melanson has outskated an icing call. Whiffen to take the face-off here.
Face-off. Cleared by Harvard. Not out of the zone yet. Now it is carried there by Moy. He was the forward playing defense on that power play that got walked by Whiffen on that shorthanded goal. Now is into the zone. The Engineers are onside. Liljegren trying to one-hand it in deep. Into the near corner they go. Back to the point. Prapavesis on his backhand now flips it forehand down below the goal line for Liljegren. Try to play it back to the point. It's intercepted. Back comes Moy. Into the play now is Malone. He'll work it into the near corner where he stood up by Prapavesis, and coming away with it is the Duluth, Minnesota native Mears Moore. Moore on the carry to center ice. He'll skate around Moy and ring it in after crossing center. Madsen stops it there. Picked up by Sherman. 2 minutes into the second period, no shot the other way. 2-0 is the RPI lead over number 2 Harvard.
Kind of slow start here to the period as Wiley Sherman kind of just sits behind the net with the puck.
As it'll be the Crimson who beat the Engineers 5-1 at Bright Hockey Center on December 30th. Trail here. Now Horton into the zone. He wore 91 his first 2 years with Jimmy Vesey on the roster, but now Vesey, who wore 19, is gone. Puck tipped just wide. The shot from the far point by the aforementioned Horton as Perry was gearing up for a high shot from Anderson, and it came low due to the deflection. Now Polino into the attacking zone the other way, looking to center for Hayhurst, just out of his reach. Anderson far side, stolen away and shot deep by Orval. Caroms around to the near corner. Polino back to the point. Riley a try, that one went way wide. Pinching in now Wilson, or make it Samick rather, a short angle shot. And that one was blocked by the defense. Looking for the wraparound. Hayhurst centering past Polino. He couldn't gather. Swatted on goal in the backhand by Riley. That never got to Madsen either. Back come the Crimson. It's Lloyd into the zone by himself. Fires high, glove down by Perry. He covers. He was thinking about leaving it for Riley, but Seb Lloyd was in the area, and he elects to cover. Good action at the other end for RPI, generating a couple of scoring chances.
As I mentioned at the break, that third line has been all over the ice tonight. They're just so fast. Jesper Orval and Patty Polino on the wings, just flying around the ice. Here comes DeVito in the fourth line in for the face-off.
Face-off here. Shot comes, skips wide to the corner. Jake Wood, the senior winger from Georgetown, Ontario, was banged up a bit, had some surgery. He's back to action after missing a few games. On that fourth line, that's been causing problems in the Harvard attacking zone. Now Olsen firing it wide off the end boards. Parker Reno, senior alternate captain from Edina, Minnesota, to the near wall where it's kept in by Floodstrand. Floodstrand, he gets run into by Wood. Dangerous hit there. Could have been a kneeing, and he gets away with it maybe there. It was close to a knee, I should say. Wasn't clear cut. Played to the far boards. Fox takes a hit from Wood. Floodstrand keeps it in the zone. Shot coming, saved by Perry. Trying to feed it back out in front one-handed. From behind the net, that was Colton Kerfoot, and now he's back on it. Colton Kerfoot for Floodstrand, looking to center, poked away by Perry. Back to the point, we got a penalty coming. Fox holding, shooting, it's deflected over the top of the net. Touched by the Engineers, and we get a penalty. It looks like they're going to get Jared Wilson for hooking. With 15:54 to go in the second, back to the power play goes Harvard. Their third opportunity of the night, all of them so far being full 2-minute chances.
Yeah, the Engineers, that's not really the way they want to start the period. They killed off the penalty, and then now they're going right back on the penalty kill. It's like Tyranese in for the face-off.
The offensive zone face-off win. Moy far side. To the circle now. Donato back up top. That's Fox. They work it down low. Pops in the air. Moore trying to find it. Give it away in the side of the net. Jam try. Saved by Chase Perry as Moore put it on the tape of Donato. And then he was bailed out by Chase Perry, who stood tall at that near post, denying Donato of the point-blank try.
Yeah, nice job there by Chase Perry slamming into that post on the far side to take away the angle. Perry having a nice game, always staying aware.
Face off to the left of Chase Perry. Riley Bourbonnais on the draw for RPI, but it's won back by the Crimson. Kerfoot at the point, holding. Fox center blue line. Fires one towards goal. Save again by Perry. Zerder Gossage was in front, looking to create a screen, maybe get a deflection. I don't think he touched it, and it allowed Perry to hold on cleanly.
Yeah. Engineers not doing a really good job of keeping those guys out of the box like they did on that last power play.
Could use a face-off win defensively, and the Engineers get it. Reno in the corner. He's tied up quickly. One back by the Crimson. Loose stick on the ice. It belongs to Reno. He's playing without it. Fox, center blue line. Minute 24 to go in this power play. Seems like an eternity. The Engineers are unable to get the puck out of the zone. There's a poke check by Perry. Swept around behind by DeVito. DeVito trying to find some room, and he will backhand it all the way down. Good patience shown by Jimmy DeVito, the co-captain. Didn't try to clear it right away, found some space, kind of used Reno as a screen legally and was able to clear it all the way down. Now back comes Kerfoot for Harvard with speed into the zone. Handed off for Moy, far side, still dealing with that loose stick in the far corner. Indirect off the wall. Fox now carries center blue line. Fed to the top of the far circle. Kerfoot shot blocked by Moore all the way out of the zone.
45 seconds left on the penalty kill here for the Engineers. 14:36 left in the period. They're still up 2-0. Great job on the penalty kill. Mears Moore still doing a nice job.
Adam Fox to center, drops it off. Esposito into the zone. Try to work it back to the point. Not a lot of room for Malone, but he does well to get it in deep. Puck to the far corner. Scrapping for it there was Bourbonnais. Can't clear. Good stick along the lights by Malone. He'll turn and shoot one wide. Karams to the far side, half wall. Esposito up top. Here's Marino. One-timer coming. Anderson saved by Perry. He went left to right and cut down that shot by Clay Anderson from the top of the near circle.
Yeah, Perry really just saw the puck that whole time. He saw it go. I watched him watch it go all the way around the ice. It was like a basketball team swinging the ball. They just went all the way around the ice. Perry followed it, slid over, made a nice save. He saw it the whole time.
Face off here to the right of Chase Perry. Up to 18 stops so far, 18-12. Harvard with a shot advantage. Here's Malone at the near point. 12 seconds to go in the man advantage. Below the goal line, Malone carries around to the far side circle. Esposito pulls it back. Anderson thought about a pass. Half fan on it. Read by Prabhavessis. He steals it and fires it all the way down. That'll do it for the power play. Engineers 3 for 3 on the kill against the nation's top-ranked power play. Back come the Crimson now. Stick handling to center. All the way in, Marino got through 2 Engineers, but not 3. Flipped back out to center by RPI. Bouncing puck there, Floodstrand. Spins around in his own zone, tapped towards the RPI line, gathered there by the freshman Riley. He'll shoot it off the near boards all the way down. Hayhurst couldn't get a touch. That will be icing on RPI. 13:30 left in this second period. Still 2-0 RPI. Engineers getting 2 special teams goals in that first period.
The Engineer defensemen are doing a really good job of getting in the passing lanes of the forwards in the neutral zone. Now, Will Riley, unfortunately, was trying to get Jacob Hayhurst there on that pass, but went right by his stick for an icing.
Floodstrand off the draw, taps it back to the point. Sherman a drive, looking for the tip of the side of the cage. And Pelton Bice got a piece of it, but he put it wide. Now to center comes Melanson. He'll cross the red line, moving into the zone, takes a slash there from Kerfoot. Driven wide into the near side corner. As taking a hit there was Hayhurst by Pelton Bice. Puck behind the Harvard goal, glove down. Here comes Dombrowski to center. Good connection. Pelton Bice into the zone. Stops at the near circle. Fed on goal. Saved by Perry. No rebound. That wasn't the puck height that Pelton Bice wanted on it. A little too high, allowing Perry to not give up that rebound. You want that shot to be along the ice. Maybe he can catch a pad and pop a rebound out. Easy stop there for Perry, who, as Joe mentioned, is seeing the puck well this evening.
Yeah, or even a little lower, and it can go right through the 5-hole for Perry, but it went right into his chest, so not too much there to work with for the Crimson.
Face off to the right of Chase Perry. It'll be DeVito on the draw for the Engineers. Up against Horton for Harvard. Puck one back into the near corner. Fending off defenseman was Krusko. He continues to duel. Now Horton along the half wall. Below the goal line, it's Lloyd. Playing without a stick is DeVito. He broke it. You can see the blade of it sitting next to the circle. And now Reno trying to clear. Second effort, still loose in the slot area. Shot coming, Horton. That one's blocked off, bodies in front to the corner. Picked up there by Krusko. To the point, holding, near circle, Horton. Back up top, one-timer Olsen, and that one is turned away. Krusko in the far corner. DeVito's got a new stick as Rodriguez gave his to the centerman. DeVito, now Rodriguez has a new twig, and we're back to 5 aside. Everyone's got a stick. Shot in by Horton, who's roughed up by Wilson. Reno below the goal line, taps it on further for Wilson to the near wall. And Rodriguez trying to move it out to center and does. Picked up there by Adam Fox. He gets some pressure from Wood, takes a bit of a cross check, goes down rather easily. A couple of fans found that to be humorous, as did Joe. 12 minutes to go in the second. 2-0 Harvard leading RPI leading Harvard. As you are listening to RPI Hockey 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Alexander Kerfoot on for Zerder Gossage. Carries it in. Stops at the point, gave it away. Prapavesis fed far side. Stolen away by Dombrowski. Back come the Crimson, 4-on-3 into the zone. Centering pass, loose in front. No shot came as the Engineers collapsed well. Now skated back to center. Liljegren on for Nanny. They're offside by a hair, and Nanny buckles over at the waist in disappointment there. He thought he was on. Fans didn't like it either. We'll get a stoppage here, however. 18:28 on the clock in the second. No goals here in the period. Engineers continue to lead by 2.
Heads-up play there by Alex Rodriguez, realizing that he was the winger on that play when DeVito lost his stick. DeVito, being the centerman, has to play behind the boards and to get the outlet pass. But so heads-up play there and unselfish play there by Alex Rodriguez, giving up his stick.
Face-off, one straight ahead by Tierney. Shot coming, deflected off a stick, or a skate and went behind. Esposito at the near half wall of his own zone, pinching in Reno. As Harvard gets it as far as center, picked up by Wilson, who slams it right back in. Rolling puck along the far boards, picked up there by Bourbonnais. Poked at by Tyrannese. Played deep by Bourbonnais on for Melanson. Melanson carries it back out towards the slot area. Blind backhand pass, intercepted in the try by Tyrannese. Now center Malone. Connects on further into the zone. Moy. Drop pass shot saved there on the try by Malone as he was then overtaken on the play by Reno. Knocked off the front of the net area. Puck to the far corner. Tyrannese has it. He's tied up by Esposito. 10:45 to go in the second. Harvard on the attack. Poke to the near corner. Malone jostling with Reno. They continue to do battle there along with Esposito and Tyrannese. 3 pairings behind the net, and finally it's Wilson who comes away with it, fed all the way down the ice. This should be icing on RPI, and it will be. And we'll get a stoppage. Long shift here for this group, this 5 for RPI. This will be an important face-off here midway through the second. As the Crimson are able to change, RPI, of course, will not.
Yeah, Jared Wilson was not looking to ice the puck there on that play. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout here called by, I'm assuming, RPI.
Yep, smart timeout here. A lot of times we'll see this play made.
Yeah, that's definitely a smart call here with 10:24 left in the second period, almost halfway through the game. The Engineers still up 2-0 after killing off yet another power play by the Harvard Crimson. And they've been going toe-to-toe, not backing down from this highly ranked Crimson offense and defense. So the Engineers looking to catch a break here, get a couple breaths here on the timeout before they come back out for the face-off in their own zone. So now you just hope that they have enough here, that they don't break down, and that they keep their confidence up. Clear the puck out the center and get a nice change.
Well, Ryan Donato went back to the locker. I'm not sure what's wrong with him, but top-line winger, 17 points for him so far in the year. As mentioned, he's second in the country, leads the team with over 5 shots a game. It's a high number, obviously. But he's not on the ice right now, not available to Harvard here in this period. Polino below the goal line, played behind for Mears Moore. And RPI will be able to get that clear to center, will they? This is maybe another icing. Well, another group out there. RPI, of course, allowed to change there on the icing. It was Hayhurst, Polino, and Orval RPI came out with, so not the same grouping after that timeout.
On the timeout, they were able to sub. Still, the defensemen it looks like they're trying to do these long stretch passes, and they're not communicating with their wingers and centermen, and it's resulting in a lot of icings.
Face off here to the left of Perry. 21-12 Harvard on the shots thanks to a 3-1 power play advantage. Engineers have just one shot on their power play, but of course it went in. Jacob Haher scoring his 6th goal of the year back in the first period. Brady Whiffen also has his 3rd of the year, his first career shorthanded goal. If you're just joining us or joining us recently, it came with 0.6 seconds left in the first. You have RPI a 2-0 lead on the second-ranked Crimson. Into the zone comes Polino now near side. Centering pass, Moore. He gets run into there. And back comes Olsen all by himself for Harvard. The defenseman into the attacking zone takes a wrister that goes wide of the glove of Perry. Picked up far side by Pelton Bice, trying to work it down low. Tipped along by Polino. He'll try and jump past Olsen. Carrying in Polino, walking in a wrister. Blocker save as Madsen saw it all the way. Now back comes Pelton Bice. Ahead for Zerder Gossage. Drop it back again. Zerder Gossage into the zone. Pulls it back. Tried to take a shot. Turning and shooting. Glove save by Perry. Looked like it was headed high off the stick of Pelton Bice. But Perry holds on anyway. As after a bit of a slow start to the season for the freshman from Madison, Wisconsin, Ty Pelton Bice, a goal and 2 assists for 3 points in his last 4 games. 3 of his 5 points have come in those last 4 games, so he looks like he's maybe figured out a little more of this college game as his season has gone on. Still pretty early, I guess, in the Ivy League schedule.
Yeah, so 9:15 left here in the second period, and so the first stoppage, of course, we have the shovelmen come out and clear the ice so that there's a little less friction and that the puck moves a little quicker, allowing for a little bit better gameplay. Not as good as what you would expect from a Zamboni, but just enough. Just enough to keep the game quick.
My sources tell me that Ryan Donato is back on the bench, so whatever his trouble was could have been equipment related. He's back out there as we have our little break here for the cleaning of the ice surface, as Joe mentioned. Official scoring on that second goal. I don't think we ever brought it to you. Brady Whiffen scoring shorthanded at 19:59 from Evan Tierney's and Parker Reno. So Tierney's picks up his first point since December. Good to see him getting back on the score sheet. Parker Reno picks up his 3rd helper on the year. 17 assists for Tierney's, leads the club. Face off to the left of Perry. And shot along and right back in deep. It'll be chased down in the near corner by Donato. Good stick by Whiffen to break it up. Shoots it off the glass out to center. Glove down by Dombrowski. Kerfoot will drop it all the way back for Anderson. Harvard will start over again in its own end. Trailing by 2, 9 minutes to go in the second. Shot in by Clay Anderson. Fed along near side, helped further by Reno to the wall for Liljegren. He'll shoot it off the near boards and out to center. And this will be another icing call on RPI. Don't want to get in this habit either. It kind of breaks up your ability to create any kind of momentum going forward and keep having to draw things up in their own zone, especially against a better face-off team than yourselves.
Yeah, you gotta be clean if you're the Engineers. You can't give Crimson Tide this game. They already have enough talent.
Shot by Moy was broken up, never got to goal. Carry him to the far half wall. As it'll be played by Parker Reno up the far boards, connecting there to Nanny. He'll chip it in deep and chase after it himself, trying to get away from Marino. First one to it. Coming together of sticks between Sherman and Nanny, and it's back out to center for Harvard. Moy into the zone, carrying down the middle, now to the near circle. Still Moy stops and shoots one high in the air, bouncing puck to the far side of the net. Malone couldn't quite knock it down. He does play back to the point, however. Sherman, near point, worked it down low. Past Esposito around to the far side, pinching in Marino. John Marino, another talented freshman on this Harvard club. Shot up the far boards and out to center. Regathering in the neutral zone. Crimson do. Now they have the ice tilted in their direction. After a good start to the period again for RPI, it's really been all Crimson thanks in part to the power play. But again, 5-on-5, they have the advantage still. Malone dumping it in. Going to chase down behind the goal. Moore takes a hit below the goal line. Slapped around by Prapavesis. And now trying to jump on it, Melanson. Kept in by Olsen. It's shoveled over the top of the net to the far side for Moy. Moy down low for Malone. Malone at the goal line extended. Back to the point. Shot coming through traffic. There's a good tie-up in front of the net. Perry makes the save and holds on. Moore takes a little bit extra from Moy as the fans react to that. 7:21 to go in the second. Still 2-0 RPI.
Yeah, the Crimson really starting to pepper Chase Perry here in the second period, starting to carry play a little bit with 5-on-5. 7:21 left in the period. The Engineers still up 2-0, but they got to start passing better. They got to start getting their passes tape to tape, get it through the neutral zone a little quicker. Otherwise, the Crimson will score.
Defensive zone face-off win. DeVito clears. Will this be icing? No, they wave it off.
It's like Alex Rodriguez got there fast enough.
Yeah, it looked like Anderson was going to beat Rodriguez down the ice, but they wave off the icing anyway. Anyway, back out to center it goes. Carried on further into the attacking zone. Here's Horton into the high slot. Backhands one down low, looking for Lloyd. And Perry had to be good there. Not sure if Lloyd got a piece or not, but it was a kind of a fluttering, bouncing puck in front of your net. Kind of a scary situation for Perry, but he was able to gobble it up nonetheless.
Yeah, Perry's faced 24 shots tonight, and he's done a nice job on all of them, seeing them right into his glove. Not really looking for anything else, not really looking at any other players coming at him, just looking at the puck. Hayhurst takes the draw here.
Face-off win for Jacob Hayhurst. He's second on the club in winning face-offs at right around 50%. Engineers last few years haven't been very good on the draw, but the freshman Jacob Hayhurst hopefully trying to change that as a shot from the far point was headed wide. Perry holds it anyway. A long shot by Clay Anderson. He didn't catch it cleanly. It was kind of end over end, but Perry was able to glove it nonetheless there.
Again, Perry following the puck all the way up to the point and making sure it goes right into his glove. Even if it was going wide, he wasn't going to play too many games with it. Hayhurst again taking the draw.
Face off to the left of Perry. It's Hayhurst and Pelton Bice on the face-off. Sits on the dot. Well, nearly a Kerfoot. That was Colton. Nearly put his glove on it. Gotta be careful there on the face-off circle. You can't do that. You can take a penalty pretty easily. They'll say he did not. He placed it next to it. Tough to tell from here. Back into the attacking zone now. Harvard. Pelton Bice shot high and wide. May have hit bodies. This is picked up by Kerfoot. That's Colton Kerfoot up the far boards. Knocked away from Floodstrand. Kerfoot again. Deflected off his stick to center. Shoveled on further. One-handed by Polino. He can't find it. Engineers are offside. Carried on further by Orval. He'll drag it into the attacking zone. Fed far side. Good connection. Prapavesis walking in. Looking to shoot. Hits a skate. And it'll be Sherman who gives it right back to him. Polino in the near circle. Fed it right back across. Shot coming way high and wide from Prapavesis. That'll leave the zone. Wild attempt there from the junior blue liner. Back to his own zone. It's Wilson. Near boards connection. Liljegren had just come out of the ice. Didn't even have his stick in the proper position in his hands. Was able to tip it along into the Harvard end. Here's Kerfoot. Stick handling through center. 5:35 to go, second period. 2-0 is the RPI lead. Bouncing puck skips by Donato. He picks it up and turns and fires. Stick save made by Perry. Near side, Kerfoot once more. Back to the point for Olsen. He'll wrist one on goal. Save again by Perry. And he'll hold on to it there.
5:22 left in the period. Engineers still up 2-0, despite being outshot 27-13 by the Harvard Crimson. And Chase Perry's just having an unbelievable night here. It doesn't matter who you put in front of him, including Lewis, Zerter, Gossage, 6'2", trying to get in the way and make a screen, but Perry saw it all the way.
Fox carrying far circle. Engineers back off a bit. Now he's back up top with it. Adam Fox, wrist shot blocked by Nanny. There's a bit of a scrum going on in front of the RPI goal before even the shot was taken. That separates as the puck moves to the near corner. 5 minutes to go now in the second. Harvard has had the bulk of possession. They lead in shots 27-13, but RPI still leads 2-0. Liljegren on the move to center ice. Appert wanting a holding call, not going to get it. Great job to stay on side, and Liljegren ripped it wide. Nanny had to nearly do the splits of the blue line to stay 1 foot across it. He was able to do so to allow Liljegren to get that scoring try, and he just whistled a shot wide. Shot in by Donato. He gets bumped up against his own bench area. Now Riley trying to clear, broken up by Kerfoot. Now a stretch pass from Melanson to center. Helped into the zone by Bourbonnais, hit him in the body. He carried it right on with him. Anderson shoots it far side for Kerfoot. It's Alexander Kerfoot to center for Esposito. Stick handling, trying to get around Samek. Into the circle, shot and a save by Perry on a tight angle try by Esposito. Now back to the point, Dombrowski. Far side, threw it out of the zone. Anderson had it in his skates. All he can do is shoot it off the boards in front of his own bench area. Samek now chopping to center. No, it's kept in. Malone in the slot, poked off his stick, right to Dombrowski. Shot coming, and that one never got to Perry. High off the glass and out to center ice. Now a 2-on-1 try. Here comes Melanson in, has Bourbonnais with him. Melanson looking to feed it across, and a sliding play was made by Dombrowski. One-timer, and the try by Samek was saved by Madsen. And now back comes Anderson. Samek was not picked up on his way into the zone. He was found with the pass, and the save was made about 15 feet out by Madsen, as Samek was looking for his first collegiate point. playing in his 9th game. The freshman from St. Paul. Now Lloyd the other way, centering all the way through everybody. It's picked up by Horton. He'll backhand it along the wall. Krusko left of the point for Sherman. Down low, Lloyd stolen away for a second by DeVito. He gets run into there. Lloyd behind the net. Back to the far point, top of the circle. Wrist shot coming, right pad save made on the try by Marino. Sherman back to Marino, some space over there again. A drive and a sliding block by Wood. Rodriguez trying to skate it out to center. Took a couple of slashes from Krusko and elects to play it in deep. Now a tight angle shot by Rodriguez is turned away by Madsen. Big collision far side as Krusko is hit by DeVito. Then Rodriguez wants a piece of Krusko as well. Here's Sherman, 2:41 to go in the second. It's gotten very lively here as this period has gone along. Now Sherman through center ice, stick handling along the red line, crosses it and dumps it in. Skips by Wilson. He'll go back to pick it up behind the RPI goal. Indirect off the end boards for Reno. Stretch pass to center. Skips by Anderson. Now Polino in. Centering pass across. Orval, a shot. He scores! Jesper Orval picks out the top corner and beats Madsen. It's 3-0.
Yeah, on that last 2-on-1 before the goal, the defenseman went down and they still tried to pass it through when they should have just taken the shot. But Polino, doing a better job, skating wide, keeping the defenseman honest. He doesn't go down, shoots across ice, and then he just buries it. Absolutely buries it. Madsen had absolutely no chance to get over on that shot. Absolutely no chance. It was just too quick of a pass.
3-0 RPI, 2:09 to go in the period. Here comes Kerfoot into the zone. A shot and a blocker save. Knocked down by Prapavesis. He can't clear. Hit the skate of Donato. Zerder Gossage behind. To the far side, Donato does battle with Moore. Zerder Gossage once more back to the point. Near side, Olsen just kept it in. Rister skips wide and off the end glass. To the side of the cage, covered up by Perry as Whiffen in good position. Had his man pried against the net. That was Kerfoot. You talk about the game that Brady Whiffen has had. You're matched up against one of the more talented centermen and seniors in the country in Alexander Kerfoot defensively. And at the other end, scoring the shorthanded goal, he has had quite a game thus far.
Yes, doing a great job on offense and defense, Brady Whiffen out there on the top line for the Engineers.
Penalty coming up here. So to go on Harvard, it's going to be on Malone. To the bench goes Perry. 1:37 to go in the period. The Engineers are about to enjoy just their second power play of the game. Right now they look to break out with an extra attacker on the ice. We're going to get a touch here, or are we? Yes, we are. There it is. 1:27 on the clock, and the Engineers are going on the power play. Jesper Orval picks up the goal. His first of the year and 7th of his career.
Coach Appert, just before the goal, was absolutely livid on the bench after he thought either Alex Rodriguez or Jimmy DeVito had taken several slashes going through the neutral zone and finally gets the penalty that he wanted. Engineers really have not had a power play except for that first one that they scored on with Jake Hayhurst. So here they come out again. Hayhurst, the guy that scored on the last power play, wins the faceoff.
Here's Riley near point. Wrist shot coming. That one's blocked away. Down low. RPI looking to get things sorted out. They're kind of bunched up in the corner. Now they do. Bourbonnais indirect off the boards for Riley. Thought about a shot. Holding center blue line. Riley down low. Looking for the tip. Rebound. Bourbonnais had a crack at it as well. And the save was made by Madsen. Turning with it. Hayhurst gave it away. Esposito thought about skating shorthanded and elects to just shoot it all the way down. Chase Perry stops it there. 1 minute left in the second. Fed far side. Prapavesis starts churning the wheels. Engineers are offside here. We get a whistle. 48.9 ticks on the clock. Second period. RPI has withstood the storm here in the second, and they countered for a beautiful goal by Jesper Orval to make it 3-0.
Yeah, after Perry was getting peppered by shots, the Engineers able to go take advantage.
Knocked down at center by Whiffen. Fed across for Tyranese. He'll skate it into the zone. Hands it off for Polino. Cross ice feed. In Melanson. Shot and a save by Madsen. Point blank. Melanson back to the point for Wilson. Touch pass back there. Shot near side. Hit a body. It hit Horton. Picked up near point by Wilson. Fed towards goal. Looking for the deflection from Whiffen. Didn't get it. Fed over the top on the backhand by Tyranese. 25 seconds to go in the period. Whiffen in the corner. Skates behind the net. Still whiffing. Now Wilson, it skipped by him and all the way down. Perry out of his net to play in the corner. A little bit of pressure comes from Kerfoot. Shot up the near boards, maybe one more rush for RPI in the period. Polino, his pass pops into the RPI bench, and we're going to get a face-off just outside the Harvard zone with a little over 5 seconds to go in the period.
Yeah, 5 seconds is still plenty of time to score, as we saw in at the end of the last period. Brady Whiffen scoring with 0.6 seconds left on the clock, as Whiffen goes here now to take the draw in the neutral zone.
Face-off, one to the far side. Wilson, a drive, he scores! Are you kidding me? Under a second again! The clock reads 0, but that one went in with under a second to play in the second. It's 4-0 Engineers. It took a deflection on its way through. The Engineers aren't going to care. A shot from the far point by Jared Wilson, his 9th goal of the year. And it's going to be a 4-0 RPI lead. I'm sure they'll look at it as the clock never actually stopped. But I guarantee you, folks, I guarantee you, this will count. So we can go ahead and talk, Joe, about it counting. You don't have to worry about that. They will review, but not concerned.
They can review it 10, 20, 500 times. I don't care. That puck went in the net every single time I look at it.
Yeah, well, no, it went in. They're going to have to look at the time. They really have to. They have to look at this because of the fact that because of the fact that they never stopped the clock when the puck went in. That's all you have to know about that.
It was close, but I definitely remember looking up at the clock. And
it was still counting down.
Yes.
Yes, exactly, which is why we knew. Anyway, RPI scoring 2 late goals in the period for a 4-0 lead. We'll stick around while they review. It is a goal, says Peter Fiola. 4-0 RPI after 2 periods of play. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Somehow, 2 goals in the final second. And they're going to put, what are they going to put back on the clock? 1.2?
Maybe 0.12.
1.2.
1.2 seconds.
All right, so I beg your pardon. The Engineers do not score in the final second. They score in the final 2 seconds of the second. I don't want to try to correct me on that, Joe. 1.2 on the clock is the official time. 19:59 in the first, 19:58 in the second. 4-0 RPI. They're getting outshot 30-20. But lead, number 2 Harvard, 4-0 after 2. Joe, we're going to be back with our second intermission in just a moment. You're listening to live coverage of RPI hockey on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. We're here from the Houston Fieldhouse. Peerless Curse, Joe Pisacano here, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. One of the more bizarre games you'll ever see, and bizarre in a good way if you're RPI. The Engineers lead number 2 Harvard 4-0 after 2 periods of play. They got a very late goal in the first period, 19:59 on the clock. Seemingly in the same exact time in the second, they put 1.2 back on the clock. So give or take the hand of the man stopping the clock. Anyway, 1958 officially was the goal by Jared Wilson, his 9th of the year, to make it 4-0. But RPI seemingly withstanding the blows of Harvard, Joe, and then firing back to score goals.
Yeah, they're playing a very nice game in transition, and that's where they're getting a lot of their opportunities. They're sticking around low near the goal, near Chase Perry, and they're taking the pucks out away from him so that he's not giving up too many rebounds, and they're getting them out to their wingers, who are in turn getting in transition, flying down the ice, and they're getting really, really quality opportunities. Several odd man rushes that have allowed them to get these goals. Also, they're playing unbelievable on special teams, whether that's the penalty kill or the power play. They've converted on both of their power plays so far, created great opportunities as well. Several shots right in close to the net. Whiffen getting a couple deflections. He's 6'3", 205 pounds, and he stands right in front of Merrick Madsen. Madsen's about 2 inches taller than him, but he can't really see over Whiffen when he's in his crouch, and that allows Whiffen to take a couple whacks at the puck when it comes in from the point or from the slot before it gets back out. So nice job by Brady Whiffen in that period, again on the power play, as well as the penalty kill. Then, of course, Jake Wood leading that 4th line on the left wing. He's doing a nice job as well at 5-on-5. He's had several blocked shots when Harvard's really been moving the puck left to right, doing a nice job trying to get some momentum, get some possession time. Wood's been there and blocking a couple shots, getting the puck that he blocked and sending it out to the neutral zone, where hopefully he sees a winger. And if not, they go right back to work in the defensive zone, trying to get the puck to the boards and bring it up ice. So a nice job by the whole team, really. They had a little bit of a lull in the middle of the period after they killed off a couple penalties. They had a little bit of a lull where they were kind of letting Perry get whacked at with the puck. He was taking a lot of shots on his left side, his right side, right up the gut, right in front of him. But he staved every single one of those shots off, and he allowed his team to stay in the game by that. Instead of giving up a weak goal here and there, he was able to keep every single puck out of the net, and that really is just it's a confidence boost for the forwards, who, when they get the puck, they now know that they can score, and they have a nice sizable lead. Now with it being 4-0, you don't want to see the Engineers drop back into their defensive zone and sort of let Harvard keep peppering Chase Perry, because eventually one of those pucks will go in. Perry's having a nice game, but you don't want to see one of those pucks that go in. The more they shoot, the more chance they have of scoring. So you don't want to see the Engineers kind of collapse. You want to see them attack. You want to see them keep going at it along the boards, keep pushing the puck up the ice. You don't want to see too much of, they got into a bad habit of icing the puck when they didn't really need to. They could have just chipped it out into the neutral zone, but instead the defensemen were trying to make too much of the play, and they sent a stretch pass down the ice several times, not just one stretch pass. They sent several stretch passes that they were not aimed correctly, and they did not hit the sticks of the forwards looking for them. So whether it's the forwards going too far up the ice when the puck is still in the defensive zone, or it's the defenseman not being accurate enough, you definitely have to fix that if you're Coach Apper. So the Engineers will look to keep up their strong play here, 4-0 over, again, second-ranked Harvard. This would be a major upset for the Engineers here with them up now 4-0 over Harvard.
Other scores from around ECAC hockey. We do have a final from women's hockey. I want to tell you about RPI winning at Harvard 3-1, the final. Goals from Blake Oros, her first collegiate goal. Congratulations to Blake. 6th goal of the season for red-hot Jamie Grigsby. She was the ECAC Hockey Player of the Week last week after picking up 5 points here at the Houston Fieldhouse in a couple of wins for the Engineers. who've now won 3 in a row. Also scoring Taylor Schwalbe, your third of the year. RPI beating the Crimson 3-1 after taking a 3-0 lead in that game. They are at Dartmouth tomorrow at 3 o'clock, looking for their first sweep of that series since 2009-10. So great work by the RPI women currently. And the men leading Harvard 4-0 here. As I get back to, the scores from around ECAC hockey. Brown leads St. Lawrence 1-0 in Providence after 2. That's one to keep an eye on. Cornell 4, Princeton 1 in New Jersey. 4-1 Quinnipiac over Colgate. That one is in Hamden. Union leads Dartmouth 2-1 late in the second. That one's in Schenectady. And then Yale 1, Clarkson 0 in New Haven. That one is after 2 periods. Anything more here in a second, Joe, before we go to break?
It looks like there's a lot more people starting to come into the game here with the third period about to start, and it seems that word is spreading around campus that the Engineers are up 4-0 over one of the top teams in not just in the ECAC, but in the entire NCAA.
That would be interesting, and hope maybe they're just going to get a snack or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, we will step aside and be back with a third period. Your score after 2 is the Engineers 4 and number 2 Harvard 0. You're listening to live coverage of RPI hockey on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy.
Let's sing that new song. My music track from my modem jack plays MP3s, and I download fast. I read the bits on the micro.
Elsewhere in ECAC action this evening. In Princeton, after 2 periods, it's Cornell 4, Princeton 1. Haven, at the start of the third, it's going 1-0. And Connecticut, after 2 periods, Quinnipiac 4, Colgate 1. In Providence, at the end of the second period, round 1, St. Lawrence 0. And late in the second period, it's Schenectady Union 2, Dartmouth 1.
live for a third and final time here at the Houston Fieldhouse. RPI leading number 2 Harvard 4-0 after 2 periods. Before we start the third, I'd like to thank the RPI Union, which provides funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. A reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. You can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we'll provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that's WRPI.org. Joe, shots after 2, 30-20 Harvard. So the Engineers lead 4-0, thanks to, in part, going 2 for 2 on the power play. They also have a shorthanded goal. And we have a new goaltender for Harvard for the first time this season. Cameron Gornet is in net for the Crimson. He's making his first collegiate appearance, a freshman from St. Louis, Missouri. Played for the Sioux City Club in the USHL.
Yeah. Looks like we got a new goalie here as the Harvard coach has just had enough after Jared Wilson went top shelf to close out the period. This is the first time Merrick Madsen has been pulled, as Perry said earlier today. This Rensselaer team really they've been resilient the whole game, and now they got to close out this final 20 minutes of hockey. They got to play 20 minutes of hockey, not 57, not 55. Not 17, not 15. They got to play this final 20 minutes of hockey. You can't back down. They can't play a bend but don't break game. They have to try and win this game.
Face off win neutralized, shot in by the Engineers.
Looks like they're going to call
and they iced it. So RPI picking up that power play goal at 19:58 of the third. Jared Wilson's 9th of the year. He leads all blue liners in the country with those 9 goals.
So not a great way to start the period with 19:53 left in the game. They ice the puck immediately.
Face off here into the corner it goes. Parker Reno shoots it around behind. And it's back out to center. Flung back in. Was headed wide of the goal, but Perry will play. Hands it off for Reno. To the far side wall, Liljegren. He'll carry to center. Near side, Jared Wilson. Cameron Gornet with his first opportunity. He gloves it out of the air and hands it off for John Marino. Zerder Gossage for Kerfoot. Lots of speed into the offensive zone. Centering pass right on in front. Good stick tie up by Prapavesis on Donato. Carried around by Kerfoot. Handed off at the far point. Scooped on further by Olsen down low.
Harvard coming out with a lot of urgency here in this period.
Kerfoot looking to center off a skate. Picked up by Prapavesis. He'll shoot it off the glass. To Fox, can't keep it in, glove down by Liljegren. Engineers want to skate, could be 3-on-2, turns into a 3-on-3, backhanded wide of goal. Bourbonnais, Tyrannies in the corner. Engineers finishing the change into the slot, a shot and a save made by Gornet on Melanson, a one-timer from a high slot area. No one was around him. Now Bourbonnais in the corner, trying to dig it out of there. Still Bourbonnais. Fed back towards the point, intercepted by Donato, poked on by Samick. Little force the Crimson back to their own end. Malone back for Fox, looking for an outlet pass. Throws it across for Jacob Olsen. Olsen slams it in, high of the net. It'll be gloved by Perry anyway, and we get a stoppage right there.
Yeah, the Engineers looking to get their speed line out there now with Polino, Orval, and Hayhurst. Here there's 18:22 left in the game. Engineers up 4-0, doing a nice job of getting the puck in the offensive zone, not just being content with playing with it in the neutral zone.
Face off here, shot coming, saved by Perry, his 31st of the night. That one as easy as any of them have been. A long shot from Victor Dombrowski, the sophomore from Coquitlam, BC. Has a couple of goals on the year from the blue line, but that one not going to threaten Perry, especially not tonight.
Top line coming back out here for the Engineers. Coach Chapper is definitely trying to drive home the fact that he wants them to drive play with playing these top lines.
Here's Esposito, tight angle shot, headed wide behind the goal, pinching in Anderson. He'll fling it right back behind the RPI goal. Karam's off the end boards to the far half wall. Wilson trying to clear, kicked at by Whiffen, can't get it out of the zone. Second effort, Liljegren does. Backhanded across the near side for Nanny. He'll turn it towards the blue line, swatted off his stick by Anderson. Moy trying to play it up the wall. Esposito takes a hard hit there from Liljegren. Back out in front of the RPI bench area. Whiffen overtaken by Moy, plays it back to Anderson. play Anderson D to D. Here's Dombrowski crossing the red line, lobs it in the air wide of the cage. Comes down behind the RPI net, spun far side, Polino can't reach it, rolling puck into Harvard territory, and this will be icing on the Engineers.
Again, the Engineers, they have to clean that up. They can't be given the Crimson this many opportunities this low in the zone. The Engineers, they gotta be smarter with the puck. Better passing through the neutral zone.
Face off, puck goes to the corner, down went Prapavesis, but he's back to his feet. Whiffen battling forward as well, behind the net. Lloyd looking for the wraparound. He's wrapped up by Prapavesis. Falling down along the near boards was Orval, back to pick it up behind the goals, Wilson again. Engineers struggling to get the puck out of their own end. Far side Sherman keeps it alive, stick save made by Perry. Puck behind the goal, Lloyd looking to center out in front, comes all the way free, and now back comes Polino for RPI, has Orval with him. These two smaller in stature, Orval and Polino, but they have chemistry. You can just see it here. They've hooked up for a goal tonight, and on top of that have been just good solid play between the two of them. Seem like they know where each other are all the time. Hope to see maybe them stick together on this third line. Not a very big one overall. You throw in Jacob Hayhurst, who's probably the biggest of the three at 5'8", 165. Puck played around to the far wall. Tie up along the boards, and it'll be moved out to center by the younger Colton Kerfoot. Shot in by Fox. Kerfoot trying to track it down there. First one to it, Jake Wood shoots it off the near glass. Knocked down by the skate of Fox. Dumped at center by DeVito, carried on further by Wood. Wood into the offensive zone. It's pried off his stick by Pelton Bice. He throws a shoulder into Bice. They continue to go at it with the puck gone to the far side. Rodriguez dumps Fox in the corner. Puck to center. First one to it, Riley. He'll shoot it off the wall. Picked up by Alexander Kerfoot. Has a man deep in RPI territory. That's Floodstrand. Has to wait for him to get back on side. Now Rodriguez knocks Kerfoot down at the blue line. We play on. Now a chance to break. Here comes Bourbonnais walking in. Shoots and a save. Rebound comes free to the near side, and Tyrannese can't track it down. It was a partial breakaway for Riley Bourbonnais. Back comes Donato for Harvard. Top of the circle, wrister. Save on the blocker. Rebound trickling in on goal, and Perry will cover. 15:43 to go in the third. 4-0 RPI continues to lead.
That was a great first shift there by the fourth line, and Alex Rodriguez as well had several great checks on the Harvard team, and also was able to get the puck on his backhand, flick it over there to Riley Bourbonnais, who had a breakaway opportunity to start the period. 15:43 left here in the game. Engineers still up 4-0. Great job by every single line to start the game.
Shot around off the defensive zone, face-off win. Whiffen tied up with Donato a bit. They continue to play along the far boards of the RPI zone, kept in, and it'll leave the ice. So we'll get a stoppage here. Shots are 33-22, but there's a big old goose egg underneath the Harvard lit up on the scoreboard here at the Houston Fieldhouse. RPI leading this one 4-0, about 4.5 into the third period.
Yeah, Cameron Gournett, one of the first opportunities he faces is, of course, a breakaway. So nice job there by him. Of course, Bourbonnais kind of just tossed it at his chest. So not too much of a save to make, but he came out of his net. He cut off the angle. Nice job by Gournett.
Face off in the RPI zone. One back to the point. Drops it back further. Esposito, a wrister, it's blocked. Hit a skate. Now another shot from Anderson goes way wide. Karams all the way around to the near side boards. Now kicked out to center. A chance to break 2-on-1. Bourbonnais with Melanson. Fed across in front of Melanson. He couldn't quite reach it. Below the goal line again is Riley Bourbonnais. Engineers have created a number of odd man rush opportunities in their favor tonight. Haven't quite capitalized on all of them. This could be even uglier, believe it or not. Tyrannese pops off a stick. It'll be shot around to the near boards. Out comes Riley Bourbonnais to center. Bourbonnais stick handling, trying to get around Marino on his backhand pad save, but the rebound popped out in front. Prapavesis swings and misses on a bouncing puck. Riley fakes the slapper, plays it to the side of the net, trying to play it near side, and the pass was broken up. Now Melanson needs to be careful, though, as he threw a couple of hooks into Malone. Malone backtracking to his own zone. RPI continues to forecheck, leading 4-0. And they give it away at the wall. Hayhurst just off the bench, walking in. Wrist shot, save made by Gornett. And he holds on. He's been thrown right into the fire, and Joe mentioned it. Credit him. One of his first chances he saw was a breakaway from Riley Bourbonnais. That time he holds on to a shot from the circle, a clean look from Hayhurst.
The Engineers doing a great job of taking advantage of the Harvard forecheck. They're really forechecking now that they're down with the game on the line. And so it's creating ample opportunities for the Engineers.
Shot from the point by Wilson. Intentionally wide behind the goal. It's Whiffen. Has Liljegren with him. He's tied up by Marino now, right in front of the Zamboni door. Far side corner of the Harvard end. Whiffen continues to duel there with Marino. Finally able to work it out. Liljegren try to play it back to the point. Kept in by Reno. Shoots it right back down low. First one to it, Nanny. Engineers first to a lot of these 50-50 pucks. Lou Nanny fed across for Whiffen. In front, Liljegren fanned on the shot. It would have been a tic-tac-toe. Would have been a pretty goal if they were able to capitalize, but Liljegren a little bit jumpy maybe there. He fanned on the shot. Now they're back down the other way. Liljegren stolen away by the Crimson. Spin move, Donato threw it right out in front, but again, Whiffen in the right place, defending the middle of the ice as that centerman on this top line for RPI is able to swat it on a danger. Tie up below the goal line. Puck loose, no one can find it. Couple of jabs at it. Donato taken out by Wilson, now picked up by Kerfoot. Stick handling, bottom of the far circle. Still Kerfoot on the puck. Back to the point. Wrister blocked, kicked at, kept in. Olsen, near side Fox. Had a lane, thought about a shot, now will pull it back. Stolen away, now chipped off the boards, and Nanny wants to skate. One-on-one with Olsen. All by himself, a wrister, and a save is made. And then Nanny and Olsen get sticks up high. And Olsen trying to show that he wasn't trying to do anything illegal. And Nanny showing good fire. You want to see forwards attack the net like he did. And thought he was the best skater for RPI last time out. Last time they were here, I guess, against Lowell. In that 5-1 loss, and there, just driving the net.
Yeah, the Engineers really doing a good job. They're keeping the puck and getting those one-on-one opportunities, two-on-one opportunities. Those forecheck of the Crimson going all in.
Loose puck in the slot. Lloyd had it for a second. Pried away by Polino. That's given right back. Here's Krusko. Fans unhappy about something. I missed it.
I think they're saying there was an offsides call.
Okay. I looked down for just a split second. Now Harvard went into the zone, but we continue to play here. It's chipped to center past everybody. This should be icing on RPI as Anderson going to beat Polino down the ice, and we'll get a stoppage. 12:23 left in the third.
Yeah, they were looking for an offsides call, but I actually don't think it was because Polino was the one that kind of hit the puck at center ice that went back in to the offensive zone for the Harvard Crimson. So 12:23 left here in the game. Shots still favor the Harvard Crimson 33-25 as we go.
Puck in the corner after the face-off in the RPI zone, far side. Pelton Bice. Stolen away. Prapavesis is wrapped up with Floodstrand. Up the near boards. They find Orval. Flinging it to center ice. Bouncing puck kicked at there by Sherman. Carried into the zone now. Pelton Bice, far side. Shot coming. Tight angle try that time from Colton Kerfoot. Now it's back out to center. Good back check by Pelton Bice to break up the Engineers' rush the other way. Could have been a 3-on-2 if not for his good hustle back the other way. Now in the near corner of the Harvard zone. Poked free there by Sherman. And now Floodstrand just trying to muscle it out of the zone, but Rodriguez doing a good job to keep the play alive. 1-on-3 along the wall. Sure the bench appreciated that. RPI able to complete a change with Alex Rodriguez just standing up the play in the near side half wall there. Now Rodriguez picks up the puck. He'll skate it in offside. And we'll get a stoppage. Probably a blessing in disguise for that group. Rodriguez was ready for a line change, I think. 11:15 left in the third. 4-0 RPI leading number 2 Harvard.
Yeah, Jake Wood once again threw a huge body check on Wiley Sherman after he had just had the puck. And the crowd getting a little excited for that as Sherman almost went to the ice, the towering 6'7" defenseman.
Face off as you can hear one of the linesmen, maybe you hear him yelling offside. The Engineers had a delayed offside. They touch up before they can go back on the forecheck. 11 minutes to go in the third. Here comes Malone, stick handling through center, poked off his stick. Riley Bourbonnais has it pop in the air off of Esposito. Now played up the near boards. Malone carrying into the offensive end, loose in front, backhand kick save by Perry. He threw up that right leg and kept that one out. Tierney's now trying to clear. Lobbing it to center, finds Bourbonnais, who's all by himself. He'll just whack it all the way down the ice.
Yeah, really just whacking it down the ice so that Perry could get his stick after it got whacked out of his hand on that last save.
Shot in by Whiffen from center. And then Gornett will go back to grab it. Shots in the period, 5-3 RPI. After getting outshot 17-9 in the second, but leading, scoring 2 goals to Harvard's none in the period. That big second period was really the turning point in this game. RPI needed to be, at least come up even in the period. They came up +2. Back to the Harvard end goes the puck. Tenacious forecheck by Nanny, trying to dig it out. Unlucky not to find it as Anderson will skate it back the other way. Now into the zone, a drive and a save by Perry. Rebound popped away for a moment on the try by Donato, who's trying to get his quota of shots in.
Kerfoot, there was a bit of a yell from the crowd a moment ago as Kerfoot took down Liljegren completely away from the play. The crowd was looking for an interference call, it looked like, as Liljegren was nowhere near the puck. And Kerfoot just decided to take him down. A bit of frustration here for the Harvard Crimson with 9:49 to go. They're still down 4-0. They have not been able to make a dent or get any shots by Chase Perry. Perry really holding his own in the net, not only stopping a high volume of shots, but also several quality opportunities as he was able to kind of throw his leg up on that last save, as we saw.
So we've seen, run on the scoring real quickly here. Hayhurst scoring his 6th of the year on the power play at 2:38 of the first, and at 19:59 of the period, a shorthanded goal by Brady Whiffen on the breakaway, his 3rd of the year. Jesper Orvald then combined very beautifully with Patrick Polino at 17:42 of the second to make it 3-0. And then a power play goal by Jared Wilson, officially at 19:58, 1.2 seconds left in the period. His shot from the left point deflected off of, I believe, one of the Harvard Crimson on its way in. Tierney's 2 assists on the night. He had an assist on that one. Pick up an assist as well, Brady Whiffen. So a multi-point night for Whiffen.
Coach Seth Appert bringing out the 4th line here in the defensive zone, shows his confidence in how they played tonight.
Face-off win for Rodriguez. He skates along, twisting and turning on Sherman. He gets knocked down by Sherman in the corner. Big time hit over there as well. Rodriguez centering. One-time try by DeVito into the netting. And we're going to get a penalty here as Jake Wood was dumped. We're going to have a roughing call. I think they're going to get Seb Lloyd here. RPI, I believe, is going to get a power play opportunity out of this. They nearly had a goal on top of it.
Yeah, Wood really kind of still yapping at it with Seb Lloyd. And the 4th line doing a really nice job tonight, as they're going to now force a power play for the Engineers, who have been on fire tonight, again going 2 for 2 on the night. And it looks like they're amped up to get back out there with Polino, Whiffen, Tyrannis, Wilson, and Drew Melanson. So nice job there by the 4th line, really getting in the heads of the Harvard Crimson. They're not happy at all. With 9:36 left here in the game, the Engineers are going to go on a 2-minute power play.
Power play for RPI. They're getting outshot 35-25 as a shorthanded outlet pass from Moy is off the mark. It was lobbed straight down the middle of the ice. He was kind of just trying to find that one on a home run ball. Anyway, back into the attacking zone. Polino got spun around but gets it deep. Tie up below the goal line. Now behind the goal. Played back to the point. Wilson couldn't quite knock it down. Spinning puck. They just ladled it back into the corner. Polino dumped against the wall as Whiffen works it back to Wilson. Polino slow to get up in the corner now. Faking a shot, Tyrannis. Wilson looking to fire wide. They continue to do battle in the corner. Polino gave another whack to Anderson. Finally, they both rejoin the play. Fed far side. Walking it in for a moment was Hayhurst. Now across. Wilson, one-timer. Save made. Point blank by Gornett. Polino behind the net. Fed to the far side. Melanson stick handling. Up top, Tyrannis. Fakes a shot. Takes the shot and it skipped high. Rebound put wide. Just along the goal line. Polino didn't have a great angle, or he would have easily tapped that one home. Might have even been below the goal line when he shot that one, or tried to shoot with that one on goal. Just fed it right down Broadway, right along the goal line and wide on the other side.
Polino was in the corner and he kind of just got sat on by Anderson.
They didn't want to give it up, yeah. RPI probably would have taken the 4-on-3. I think that's why they didn't complain all that much. Bourbonnais trying to work it back to the point as the Engineers enter the zone. It's cleared out of play, and the faceoff will remain in the Harvard zone. 8:07 to go, third period. You are listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. The Engineers lead number 2 Harvard 4-0.
The Engineers having a great night here. They've had several opportunities here on this power play. Specifically, Patty Polino almost tapping that puck and just went a little high and a little too far to the left.
Face-off won by the Crimson. Adam Fox behind his own goal, lobbing it up ice. And now Riley for RPI, stick handling through center. Overskates the puck, I think put himself offside. Yes, he did. And that'll draw a whistle.
So 15 seconds left here on this power play. Excuse me, the Engineers able to get a couple shots on, kind of even out their shots on goal. Now they have 27 to the Harvard Crimson's 35. 7:51 left here in the game. Jimmy DeVito here to take the faceoff.
Face-off win for the Crimson, back to their own end. Clay Anderson shoots it all the way down. This should all but do it for the power play. Bouncing puck skips over Perry's stick. Dangerous play. Moore had to bail him out there. Swatting it behind the goal. Now Harvard offside. And we get a whistle as Anderson just a little bit late getting to that puck. And a little bit of faux applause there. Sarcastic applause from the RPI fans. They think these officials had missed a couple of offside calls. And they a little extra happy. They're actually going to call this intentional offside. We'll send the faceoff all the way back to the Harvard zone.
Yeah, and it looks like Coach Appert has elected to go out with his 4th line here with 30 seconds left on the power play instead of sending the 2nd unit out. Shows how much trust he has in them in this game.
Face-off win into the corner. Out of the box comes Marino. So the Engineers now 2 for 3 on the power play. Moved into the zone, it's Horton. He's tied up, lost the puck into the corner, Floodstrand. Behind the net now, looking to center, one-time try, another shot coming. Great block there by Rodriguez, penalty coming up on RPI. As the arm is up and now Rodriguez gets into it with Dombrowski. They'll need to be separated. And we have a stoppage. So Harvard will go on its 4th power play in just a moment. 7:11 to go in the 3rd. RPI still up 4-0.
So not exactly a smart play there by the Engineers with 7:11 left here in the game. They're still up 4-0, but you don't want to see them fall apart. You want to see them continue to play and drive the puck up towards the net. You're not really going to be able to do that on a power play. So hopefully they kill this off like they've done all game, despite Harvard having one of the top power plays in the nation. The Engineers have killed off every single power play so far, and there have been like 4 or 5 so far, I'd say. Whiffen takes the face-off here, gives it back to Prapavessis.
Face-off, glove down, Moy, shot and a save by Perry. Puck goes behind the goal. Prapavessis is wrapped up by Moy. Did some kind of yoga move, but got free. Now Kerfoot thought about a wrister. Now he takes one. It's blocked. Whiffen diving. Poke check clears the zone. It'll trickle all the way down the ice, and Gornut comes out to play. What a game Brady Whiffen is having. It's a pat in the back of the helmet from Liljegren as he heads back to the bench. Zerder Gossage, far side for Donato. Back to the point. Great keep by Kerfoot, who's given a poor pass. Now a wrister hammered wide from the far circle by Moy. Tie up along the near wall. Zerder Gossage trying to clear where the Engineers. Somehow Fox kept that one in. Far side Moy pulls it back. Thought about a shot. Takes a shot. Blocked by Moore. Played up the wall now. Zerder Gossage holding near side. Intercepted by Bourbonnais. He'll try to clear and does all the way down.
Great job again by the RPI power play here. 1:03 left on the penalty kill. Excuse me, the penalty kill here. 1 minute left on the penalty kill here for the Engineers. Mearsmore doing another unbelievable job on that last shift.
54 seconds to go on the Wood penalty. 6 minutes to go in this 3rd period. Engineers leading number 2 Harvard, 4-0. 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. RPI using every bit of the first 2 periods to score those 4 goals. Esposito, backhand pass, and it was a tough one to handle for Anderson. He missed it. It goes all the way down.
Engineers doing short shifts here on this penalty kill. I've seen about 6 to 7 forwards out there already.
Now another penalty coming up on RPI. Oh no, sorry, just off for an extra attacker. Feigning on it was Marino. Save made by Perry in a second try. There's an empty net for Harvard with 5:20 to go. Goaltender off, that being the backup Gornett with 5.5 really. Now a centering pass. We're playing 6-on-4 currently. Now out of the box, Hayhurst, or off the bench I should say. A drive and a save by Perry. Now we're playing 6-on-5. Engineers can't clear the zone. Kerfoot working it in front. Pad saved by Perry. Puck goes behind the goal. DeVito lobbing to center. Bouncing puck at the line. Nearly too many men as Gornett jumped on without anyone else leaving the ice, but no one touched the puck and we will play on. Into the RPI zone, swept back to center. Gornett's back onto the ice. My goodness. Looking a little bit like a circus here as Harvard swapping goalie for extra attacker in the run of play. Now 4:30 left. Gornett's in, and we play 5-on-5. So Harvard trying to get a little more of an advantage at the end of that power play. Didn't work out. They're 0 for 4. This top-ranked power play unit on the evening. Shot back to center. Nanny catches at the Harvard line, moves it in. He'll flip it deep now. Melanson trying to get there. He's beaten to the puck by Colton Kerfoot. Now Fox, stick handling, stolen away by Melanson. Melanson in the corner, holding, stick handling back to the point, tried to feed it off for Wilson. Miscommunication there. Threw it right through Wilson's legs and back out to center. Waiting on the other side was Reno, who dumps it back in. First one to it, Polino. He'll stop in the corner. Fed to the point. One-timer whiffing. Right pad save made by Gornett.
Engineers doing a nice job, still going all the way in on their forecheck. Not giving up just because they're up by 4 goals. They're still going to go in on the forecheck.
Puck lob back out to center. Wilson picks it up there. Jared Wilson in his own line. Through center, tipped in deep by Polino. They chase. Gornett, the first one to it, backhands it around to the near side. Whiffin, rubbed up against the glass there by Horton, back out to center. Corralled there by Prapavesis. Engineers doing to Harvard what they did to them for most of that second period. Let's win the puck in the neutral zone and just lob it right back in and then defend once more. Shot in by the Crimson this time. Moore chopped off the near boards, picked up by Seb Lloyd. Behind the net now, Krusko looking to turn and shoot. It's blocked by Whiffin. Loose puck in front, slapped away by DeVito. And now Whiffin in the corner. Under 3 to go in the third. 4-0 RPI. DeVito looking to break. Nearly a hand pass there from Prapavesis, but it's touched by a Crimson, and the Engineers lob it all the way down. Will this be icing? Oh, they must have waved it off early.
Yeah,
Shot. Yeah, go ahead.
The Engineers, you can see them get more and more confident as each second ticks off the clock. 2:36 left here in the game, and the players are starting to really play with a lot of energy, which you like to see. Fed
through by Dombrowski, who skated all the way in deep. Now a long shot goes wide from Anderson. Picked up far side, half wall by Moy. He just dumps it right back in. Rolls around to the near corner. Reno trying to clear, took a hit. Anderson a shot and a save by Perry. Pops back to the point. Near point Malone. The centerman just gave it away. Now a man breaking. Bourbonnais trying to corral the puck. He'll move in on the breakaway. Bourbonnais again, walking in. Shot and a save made there by Gornett. Twice now Gornett has denied Bourbonnais on the breakaway here in this third period. Back come the Crimson. Esposito trying to walk in on Prapavesis. Another poor angle shot from the Crimson. We've seen a number of those. They have 39 shots now in this game. But really this 39-30 edge in shots for Harvard, maybe a little bit misleading. A lot of these shots have been like that one. Below the dots, even to the bottom of the circle. And Perry's measured them all well.
Yeah, Perry's really seen the ice well this entire game. And with 1:58 left here in the game, you have to wonder when the Crimson are going to be pulling their goalie. They already did it when there were 5 minutes left. Of course, they had a power play, and that's probably why, trying to get a little more momentum. But Engineers doing a nice job to stave off the storm.
Far side boards. Moy tied up with Prapavesis. Whiffing over to help out. Chip to center by Liljegren. Gets it as far as the red line. Now picked up by Sherman. Sherman once more on the puck. Hands it off there. Esposito stick handling. Takes a whack up high from Liljegren. Then goes offside. They'll have to wait for him to touch up. Kerfoot given away far side. Now he's tripped up. Penalty coming up on RPI. Moy centering. One-timer goes wide. Extra attacker on for Harvard. On the delayed penalty. 1:25 to play in the game. Liljegren roughing up Moy in the corner. Played back towards the point. Nanny trying to get a touch on the puck. Finally he does. And we get a stoppage in play. 1:17 left. That's when this penalty will come. It's the 5th power play for Harvard. And a chance here to maybe try to at least break up the shutout.
Yeah, 1:17 left in the game. It's going to be really hard for Harvard to come back now. So they're going to take this power play. They're probably going to, yes, they've already pulled their goalie, but the Engineers look to have this game almost under wraps. Nothing's ever set in stone, but it looks like they are going to pull off probably the biggest upset in the country this year, I would say, with a Harvard ranked second in the country. The Engineers, of course, unranked, and having their 1-10-0 in ECAC play, 3-19-1 overall. So this would be their second win in conference play, fourth win of the season, if of course they were to win it. But the players on the bench, they look confident. They don't look tired. Looks like they're going to get DeVito and Bourbonnais out on the penalty kill, as well as Prapavesis and Jared Wilson. Parker Reno out there on the penalty kill. Chase Perry's had an unbelievable game. He's seen 39 shots. Several of them have been just easy shots from the point that he's seen all the way to the net. They haven't really been able to get tipped or anything that would sort of allow them to go by him. But there have also been plenty of shots that have been right in front of him at point-blank range, and he's held off every single one of them. He's held off every single one of these shots that have been right at his face.
Yep, 6-on-4 hockey here with 1:17 left. The power play and an extra attacker for the Crimson, who are 0 for 4 so far on the power play. This easily their best opportunity with the 2 extra skaters. Here's Kerfoot, far side one-timer, blocker saved by Perry. A career-high 40 saves, and we get a slashing call here. It's going to go on Harvard, and the fans enjoy that one. Just 6 seconds into this 6-on-4 situation. And Tyler Moy is going off for slashing.
And of course, that means that the puck is going to go all the way back down to the RPI offensive zone for an offensive zone faceoff for the Engineers, which means that goalie Cameron Gornet is going to have to come back on for the Harvard Crimson. So the Engineers now are going to skate 4-on-4 with Harvard Crimson and try to close out this game.
So we'll play 4-on-4, excuse me. We'll see if Harvard elects to pull Gornet again. But 4-on-4 here for the final minute. 4-0 RPI. Here comes Donato into the offensive zone. A career-high 40 saves for Chase Perry in this game.
Doesn't look like they're going to pull Gornet.
We'll just play this one out. Here's Wilson in the far corner. On for DeVito. Bourbonnais wants another try at Gornet. He's had 2 breakaways turned away by the freshman goaltender. Now a shot and a save by the glove by Gornet. And Riley Bourbonnais wondering what he has to do to beat this freshman in his first ever game. That one a little bit tougher chance there, I will say, for Bourbonnais. It was a good glove save by Cameron Gornet, who has turned away all 11 RPI shots in the period.
Yeah, Bourbonnais really trying to break through the wall of Gornet, but might be a little too late for the Harvard Crimson.
Now a shot off the face-off by Wilson, whistled wide. Caroms around to the far corner. Played to center. Here comes Malone. Sean Malone into the attacking zone. Stolen away, knocked down there by Wilson, picked up by Melanson. Spinning with it. He'll turn to the far side. Now to center ice come the Engineers. It's Reno just shooting it in and going back to defend the neutral zone. Back to play. Here's Olsen. Fans standing here with 10 seconds to go in the period. Esposito from center fires it off the glass behind the goaltender Perry. Centering pass played by Reno, far side with 3. 2 to the point for Olsen. Shot, whistle on goal, and it's held by Perry fittingly.
They did it. They did it.
The final shot, I'm not sure if it'll count. They'll say it does. A shot on goal from the point. Perry's going to keep that puck in the mid. He might not never let it go. 41 of 41, Chase Perry. RPI picks up the 4-0 shutout. First time this year the Crimson have been shut out. First career shutout for Chase Perry in a career-high 41 stops. RPI picks up the 4-0 win, snapping a 7-game losing streak against the number 2 team in the country. My goodness, who would have expected that?
This has to be by far the biggest game of the season for the Engineers. Maybe a turnaround point. maybe go on a little bit of a win streak before the ECAC tournament, and hopefully carry them into the national tournament. But this is definitely a big confidence boost for this team. They've had a rough season so far. They staved off several power play opportunities by the Harvard Crimson with a great penalty kill. And if you're Coach Apper, you got to be happy with the play of all 4 lines.
Well, the fans who came out to this one surely were treated to a fantastic performance from these Engineers. Power play goals, 2 of them a shorthanded goal. And an even strength goal might have been the prettiest of the bunch. RPI closing out with the shutout. They'll be in action tomorrow. It's Autism Awareness Night. Wanted to mention it earlier. 5th annual Autism Awareness Night. Great bit of charitable work the Engineers do. Of course, leading up to it, they did some work in the community this year at schools 16 and 18 to help out with some special needs students. And of course, tomorrow night's game here at the Houston Fieldhouse, there will be no extraneous, no loud noises, no flashing lights on the scoreboard. It'll be hockey in its purest form, and fans of the game will get a chance to come out here all across the autism spectrum, be able to enjoy a game without maybe being bothered there. So RPI, Joe, picks up the 4-0 win. It's just their 4th win of the year, and their 2nd league win. But if there's any time to turn things around, I guess now is as good as any, as RPI will look to try to pick up their 2nd win in a row tomorrow against a very solid Dartmouth team.
Yeah, the Engineers really doing a nice job. They played 60 minutes of hockey tonight, Perry. That's what they did. They played 60 minutes of hockey right up till the end, doing a nice job. They never really played that bend but don't break style play. They played that get in your face and shove the puck into the offensive zone style. They were forechecking that entire 3rd period, which that's what you like to see. You like to see them getting deep into the offensive zone, winning the offensive battles along the boards, keeping possession of the puck, and not really giving Harvard room to breathe.
I'll run down the scoring. Joe will come up with his offensive and defensive Engineers of the game. At 2:38 of the 1st period, RPI scoring on the power play. Jacob Hayhurst, 6th of the year, the lone assist going to Mike Prapavesis. RPI then took a 2-0 lead at 19:59 of the period. A shorthanded goal by Brady Whiffen, his 3rd of the year from Evan Tierney's, and Parker Reno made it 2-0 RPI. 17:42 of the 2nd period. Jesper Orval's 1st of the year on a great pass from Patrick Polino, who picked up that primary assist. Secondary assist going to Parker Reno. And then RPI capped the scoring at 19:58 officially. 1.2 seconds left in the 2nd period. A power play goal by Jared Wilson, his 9th of the year from Tierney's, and Whiffen made it 4-0. First career shutout for Chase Perry. He made 41 saves, including all 17 shots in that 2nd period. He picks up the win. Merrick Madsen took the loss. He made 16 saves on 20 shots. Cameron Gornett, in relief, stopped all 11 shots he saw in the 3rd period. He was tested. Gornett looked good. If they ever need him, maybe in another game, he looked solid in his first career appearance for the Crimson. Yeah,
Gornett's saving off 2, not 1, but 2, or almost 3 breakaway opportunities by Riley Bourbonite, a senior captain for the Engineers. And so for my offensive Engineer of the game, I'm going to give it to Brady Whiffen. Whiffen had an unbelievable game centering that 4th line. Not only centering, that 1st line, he did a great job centering the 1st line, staying low in the defensive zone, getting the puck from his defenseman after Perry would make a save and sending it up to his wingers before heading up the ice. And also, of course, on the penalty kill where he took the puck off of and just went right around Tyler Moy, straight to the net, shot it low on Merrick Madsen, and went in. And that was really the turning point for the Engineers, scoring that goal with 0.6 seconds left in the 1st period. That the Engineers knew that they had a chance when they went into the end of the 1st period up 2-0.
Yeah, really back-breaking goals in those situations.
For my defensive players of the game, Engineers of the game, I'm going to give it to Mears Moore, who again did an outstanding job on the penalty kill, keeping the Harvard Crimson out front of the net, specifically Louis Zerder-Gossage, the 6'2" right winger. And, of course, Chase Perry, who absolutely stood on his head throughout this game, facing almost 40 shots.
Yeah, 41 shots saved for Perry is a career high. As the Engineers pick up a big win, snapping that 7-game losing streak, as I mentioned. They are in action tomorrow. Before we go, Joe, I'd like to make a couple thank yous. I'd like to thank DJ Scooter back at the station for getting us on the air and keeping us there. And for the RPI Student Union, which provides funding for WRPI, the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. A reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. You can pick our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so long as WRPI is broadcasting. We'll provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that's WRPI.org. 4-0 winners here for the Engineers. Joe, any final thoughts?
No, not really. Just that the Engineers hopefully take this game and they know that it's not just a fluke for them. They've really done a nice job driving play all season, but they never really were able to capitalize. And hopefully they realize that because of their stellar play, they are a good team and that they carry this momentum into the rest of the season.
So for Joe Pizzacano, I'm Perry Lascaris. We thank you for listening to tonight's game. Once again, your final score was RPI 4 and number 2 Harvard nothing. You've been listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.